the misconception that everyone has about the SEALs is the movies where you're jumping out of planes and you're shooting and you're swimming and you're blowing stuff up and you're doing neat stuff. Those are the outliers when you have finished all the core pieces. What it takes to get there is far more miserable. The cold in training, the cold in your workup, the staying out long hours away from family. I mean, the ugly outweighs the great, but the great is the value is so much better than the misery that's what you look forward to. It's kind of like a banker going to work. Okay, he's going to work, but there are those times when he or she strikes a deal and they close, I don't know, a $20 million deal, and they're like, yeah, those are the outliers, but it takes everything to get to that point. So much like you start your wrestling training and you start easy and it gets harder and harder and harder, and it ends going to, the Blair Wrestling Championship. It's the exact same thing.
Right. So, and these problems you face with like being away from family, right? Being away like from like people you love and things like that back at home. Would you say that pain like you're able to deal with it better over time, or does it grow over time, or at first you're kind of fine, but then as you're away for so long, that's when it really starts to build, or
Yeah, I mean, that goes back to the how long can you laser focus? That's why our deployments, depending on where you are, either 4 or 6 months for the most part, because you can focus on something for so long and you can work with teammates for only so long when you're together all the time. After that, you have to take a break. And they recognize that. They absolutely recognize that. So that break, going back, resetting, restarting your training is utterly key. Your readiness, your muscles, they work in a sine wave. You're not always going to be here. As you exert yourself, your muscles are going to start going down. And at a certain point, when you're on your way down, you need to stop so you can recover and they go back up. That smooth sine wave or motion of the ocean. It's the exact same thing with us.
If you enjoyed that segment with Tristan Rizzi, then you're going to love the full 1 hour length podcast that I recorded with him. Hit the link in the description now to see the full 1 hour length podcast.